I'm a faculty member here at College of Menominee Nation, and along with the team here today, we're going to plant an apple tree, just to show you how that's done. So, planting into sod in a location next to a trail. Now we have put this tree location off of the trail by a goodly ways, and that is not because this tree is very big now, it's because it will be big someday. We don't want to have to cut off all the major branches so we can continue having our trail. So this tree location is offset about 8 or 9 feet so that I have plenty of room to put out its branches and not be on the trail. Wherever you put your trees, make sure you've got space so the tree doesn't grow against your foundation, against your fence, into the neighbor's land, whatever you got. Imagine the tree full grown and then space accordingly. Okay, well, I've gotten started here. Trees really don't like to grow in sod. It's really hard on them, especially when they're getting started. Once they're full grown, having sod around isn't much of a problem, although I don't think most of the professionals grow them that way. At any rate, for us, we got to get the sod out of here. So I'm working on a 3-foot circle, which seems to be a reasonable size, so that the tree will be able to get going. We'll have a nice dish for watering around it, and all this quackgrass won't come and eat up this tree right away. So I'm just going to finish the last piece here, just so you can see the process. So having a good spade is a nice thing when you're dealing with sod. Ooh, and folks here are blessed with some of the nicest sandy soil you ever found. Good heavens. So, just break up the sod a bit. And we don't want to take the soil away. We want the soil to stay here. So, a little work is involved. So I'm going to actually bust it up and shake the soil back in here. Try to just remove the grass. Easier said than done. Spent about 10 minutes doing the first part, and I guess whatever long this takes. So it looks like about 15 minutes or so if the soil is friendly. If you have clay soil, it's going to take you longer, and you won't recover quite as much. That looks pretty good. So if you ever wonder why quackgrass was a problem, it's because all those rhizomes. Good stuff. All right, that's for going somewhere far away. Now I have the spot for my tree. Nice 3-foot circle, ready to go. So, I need to know how big the root ball is going to be. So I happen to have this tree wrapped up the way I wrapped up some others for other folks, just so they can see what the experience is going to be that they're going to do. So these trees were just dug out of a place where they're healed into the ground this morning, and then wrapped up to keep the roots damp until they get planted later today. Don't delay. I did not cut this piece of twine shorter than this because I wanted someone else to also have a chance to reuse it. Short twine isn't good for reusing at all. Actually untie the knots here. If you get trees directly from the nursery, they're either going to be in a pot, or they'll be bare rooted and come out in a bag covered with sphagnum. At any rate, This is what we have right here. So that's a pretty good mass of roots for this little tree. We're going to plant it so that the uppermost root is at least a couple inches below the surface of the soil. We want this graft union to stay up above the ground. So I don't know, this is some semi-dwarf rootstock. The piece up here is an old apple called Duchess of Oldenburg, an old popular Russian variety that Rebecca specifically wanted. So we've got a lot of roots here. We don't curl them up in the hole, so I got some digging to do. So I'm going to put this into a bucket to keep it wet, and then I'm going to dig a hole. So if you've ever dug a hole and wanted to refill it with the same soil and you threw it on the grass, you know it's really hard to get it back. So I'm going to use a tarp. And hopefully that will help. I'm glad I made a 3-foot space because this one has big roots. Now you can trim the roots if you've got a good sharp knife or a pruning shears. Since I'm planting this for Rebecca, I got to do a good job. It's the only variety she requested specifically. Alright, well before I go any crazier with this hole, let's see how our root mass looks compared to the hole. So if we get it down there gently, not pressing down, I'll have to probably trim a couple of roots here or there. And that is just slightly not deep enough.
Try again.
Work harder, not smarter. All right, well that ought to take care of that, I think. Let's see what we got. Like, go flat across, it should come right about here, which is just a few inches up above those roots. Should probably be fine, leave me a little bit of a dish. And so, see where a few roots can go. I don't want to circle any of them. Do a little surgery. All right. So none of these roots look like they're going to, oh, that one's long too. They're not circling one another or getting twisted, which you don't want to do because eventually the roots will get much bigger, and if they're growing together like that, they're going to make a mess, choke each other out a little bit. Now some folks like to put extra materials down in the soil. That's probably okay with soils like ours here that are very sandy. But if you have clay soils especially, don't do that, and generally you don't have to do it. The tree can grow in the soil that's present. A little fertility is usually plenty good. So I'm going to fill in, trying to keep that upper layer of roots up. Currently just burying that lower set. Look fairly straight. Mm-hmm. We want to gently firm the roots in place rather than just throwing a lot of soil and smash them all down against the side of this trunk. All right, more or less recovered the soil. I'm gonna mount it up a little bit on the sides here. A little bit of a dish. That'll eventually wear itself down through rain and such, and you can knock it down. But for the first summer, when you're watering it every week, it's very, very nice to have something that will hold a bunch of water for you. Are there other and better ways to do this? Probably so, but I've done it this way many times. It seems to largely work okay. I'm gonna give it a drink, and we got another one on its way. 50 years from now, people will probably still be eating apples from this tree. Won't that be a fine thing? So thanks for attending, and good luck with all of your fruit adventures.